Hi, this is Professor Swift, and right now we're going to talk about the NFL and the Players Association because of the fact that they're going into collective bargaining again. And they've had quite a contentious time under this contract, and so they're going to try to wrap some things up with their mandatory subjects of bargaining. The National Labor Relations Act requires that the players and the employer bargain to impasse, which means deadlock, over mandatory subjects of bargaining, which is wages, hours, terms, and conditions of employment. And I'll have the folks introduce themselves who are going to help me explain the case. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Aanas.
And my name is Pradeep Chara.
Hey, hi guys. Okay, so the first one, if you want to bring it down, is the lifetime health. Apparently, the Players Association, which is the union for the NFL, they want lifetime health. Why do they want that?
They would like lifetime health, so they would be able to cover their they would be able to cover their injuries that they have sustained throughout their time playing in the NFL. But looking at it from the owner's perspective, it seems unreasonable because it would cost so much money. And in all reality, the policy would not cover the injuries sustained during at the workplace or during the time of work.
Okay. So like a lot of these mandatory subjects of bargaining, it's about money, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And how much is are the players willing to give up in wages and benefits in order to get that is something we don't know at this point. The next one's drugs. And what I've been reading is that a lot of this has to do with marijuana. What do you say about that?
The owners and the NFL and the NFLPA, which is the Players Association, are starting to realize that the punishments in the CBA book are kind of outdated and extreme when it comes to, for example, marijuana, where the players
They take it, right, to alleviate their stress and to alleviate their pain.
or hide their injuries or issues they're going through at home. And under the new mental health initiatives they would like to use marijuana testing as a diagnostic tool where they could help those players rather than use it against those players.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, the next one is a big one that we read about all the time, and Pradeep and I just happen to be doing research on that, and that's discipline. As it stands right now, Goodell, the commissioner for the NFL, is allowed to be both the judge and jury on this one, prosecutor too. And what do they want to happen here? And by they, I mean the players.
The players are starting to notice, not the players, the NFL starting to notice a variety of complaints starting after the NFL introduced this personal conduct policy without collective bargaining. And
are they thinking that they would like to have a neutral hear the case, or what?
yes, I believe that they're trying to have a neutral hear the case because they are thinking that Goodell has a little too much
Power?
but also the NFLPA is not pushing for this specific subject or topic because it does not affect all the players. It affects a certain amount of players, and they're usually pushing for issues that affect most or all players.
Okay. So maybe the employees that have the big disciplinary problems aren't the typical employees, but at the same time you see that somebody like Tom Brady, who got 4 game suspension, he is one of their best players, and he had problems with them, didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So perhaps it's better for both the employer and the employees if they get a neutral arbitrator to hear those cases.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Next one is health and safety. What about health and safety?
So the NFLPA will continue to push for more safety for the players, and they're doing so with more concussion protocols and more. They're working on reducing the off-season workload requirements by reducing the amount of time the players have to spend in the team facility in their off-seasons. And
let me ask you this. As far as not having players play as much, What's the result of that?
It reduces the amount of compensation they're going to receive. Where the article touched on that if some players will go from having 3.2 years to 2.2 years, I believe. So this is affecting their income, and
So what they want to do is they want to have less time in which they're in contact against other players because of the fact that the more contact they have, the shorter their career. Is that correct? Okay. So we've got lifetime health, which is a mandatory subject to bargaining. We've got drug testing, also a mandatory subject to bargaining. We're trying to decide whether or not there's going to be what type of discipline, who's going to mete out that discipline, health and safety. And what about former players?
So former players was one of the most one of the good victories they had, where they introduced the legacy fund, where it helps about 4,700 former NFL players, as those players are trying to push for more pensions or better pensions. And I believe that the NFL and the NFLPA are willing to work on this, as we saw that the NFL owners were willing to compromise and help create this fund.
Okay. All right. So here you'll see then that we've got, this is just part of the issues, but these are issues that if they bargain those to impasse and they can't get resolution, then the employer could lock them out. But I doubt that the NFL wants to lock out their players. I doubt that they want to, that they don't want to have games in which they make a lot of money off of. So probably they're going to resolve these issues in such a way that they can resolve the contract. Would you think so?
I believe so.
Okay, good. Thank you very much.
Thank you.